Send you a love letter from my heart, fucker! Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 26 of Why Would You Show Me This? I'm Will.
And I'm Dani.
And we are continuing on with our David Lynch Fest for episode 2 of said fest.
Yes. David Lynch-a-thon.
David Lynch-a-thon, as Dani has called it.
Yeah.
So, Dani is picking the films. We're not doing them in any special order. It's just whatever one she feels that she wants to do next.
Mm-hmm.
And she picked Blue Velvet. Blue Velvet. I'm amazing. Shut up.
I hope you do a close-up of my face while you're singing.
Oh, yeah. So, as always, synopsis.
Mm-hmm.
Beneath the surface of small-town serenity lies a dark domain where innocence dare not tread and unpredictability is the norm. It is the haunting realm of Blue Velvet. Spawned from the mind of David Lynch, Blue Velvet is a shocking, deeply disturbing, startling mixture of heartfelt and the horrific. From Newsweek. Okay, here's the actual synopsis of the film. Clean-cut Jeffrey Beaumont, Kyle MacLachlan, realizes his Mayberry-like hometown is not so normal when he discovers a human ear in a field. His investigation catapults him into an alluring, erotic murder mystery involving a disturbed nightclub singer, Isabella Rossellini, and a drug-addicted sadist, Dennis Hopper. Soon, Jeffrey is led deeper into their depraved existence to the point of no return. What did you think?
It's alright.
It's alright.
It's not my favorite.
Is it better than Lost Highway?
Yes.
You enjoyed this more?
I mean, it's definitely, yeah, because I know what's going on in this.
Yeah, Blue Velvet, as a lot of people say, it's a weird film, and it definitely is. It has weird parts, but it's the least Lynchian, the second to least Lynchian film that he has made. It's very linear. It's a story. You know what's going on, beginning, middle, end. There's not a lot like, what does this mean? What does that mean? What do you mean by this?
Mm-hmm.
It's very straightforward.
Yeah.
But it still has classic Lynch moments.
It does. It has a lot of what the fuck moments.
A lot of what the fuck moments. One of my favorite moments, we're skipping really into the movie, but the introduction of Ben,
mm-hmm.
who seems to be, he almost seems like Frank's keeper.
Yeah, kind of.
Like he's above Frank in the food chain.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of seems that way to me. But when he sings "In Dreams" by Roy Orbison,
mm-hmm.
One of my favorite scenes of the movie, for sure.
It is. It's really kind of creepy though.
It's creepy, but it's great. The character of Ben is great, and it's funny that we watched this after Lost Highway because. When you put Ben and the mystery man from Lost Highway together, they're very similar. They both have the pasty white on their face, and I don't know what that's about. Maybe that's just Lynch's thing. He likes pasty white. I don't know any other films though that he had.
It seems he associates that with spooky,
or just like a mystery, because we don't really know much about Ben. We're just introduced to him,
mm-hmm.
and that's about it.
He's very calm.
Yes.
And Dennis Hopper's very not.
Yes. He has to calm down Frank sometimes.
And it doesn't require a lot of effort on his part to do it.
No, he just he does his little thing, but Frank does get overwhelmed. Frank gets sad then angry, as you said while we were watching the movie. But yeah, Frank is probably the best part of this movie to me.
Yeah, I feel like we can talk about this assuming people have watched it.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we're kind of it's a 30-year-old movie. 86. It's close to no, it's almost 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen it, go see it.
Yes.
Stop this right now. Watch the movie, and you'll love it, and then come back and listen to us yap about it.
Yeah. I think Isabella Rossellini in this is really good. Did she win anything for it?
I don't believe so. I'm not sure.
I think she should have.
She really should have. She plays a distressed woman wonderfully.
It's funny because before seeing this, my opinion wasn't colored necessarily, but I've heard what her role, I've heard what her role is talked about.
Yes.
So I had an expectation. And it's not as bad as people tried to make it sound.
It's really not.
I mean, it is bad.
It's bad.
It is bad. It's graphic and disturbing and all that stuff. But, I mean, they really made it sound like that Lynch tortured her.
Yeah, I mean, the infamous Siskel and Ebert review on television where Mr. White Knight Ebert tries to say that she was humiliated. Mm-hmm. And Lynch made a fool of her, or whatever the fuck he said. And it's at least Siskel said it in the review. He's like, look, she's fine. Yeah, she's an actress.
She's an actress.
She lives in New York. She's good. She's okay. That's the thing about this stuff is I know sometimes in films, women are pushed to do things they may not be comfortable with. Mm-hmm. But Isabella has never said anything about being uncomfortable about doing this film. No. She's never said anything bad about Lynch.
Well, she even says in an interview that's
on the Blu-ray.
On the Blu-ray that she has heard Lynch be called misogynistic in the way he approaches women in his films, and she said that she feels her character in this is the opposite of misogynistic.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too. I think that people that call Lynch a misogynist, they miss a lot of the really strong female characters that he has written and created and put on the screen, a la Laura back here. This is just because, and that's the thing, another thing that she said in that interview is every woman at some point in her life experiences abuse, whether it be a small amount of abuse or a larger amount of abuse. And to portray the life of a woman and not show that, I think is a lie, Yeah. And as specifically this movie, it goes very far into it. I mean, there's a lot of violence against her. Yes. There is a rape scene, which truthfully is not terrible. It's very, very, very short.
It's not the most graphic thing.
It's not the most graphic rape scene you'll ever see.
But it's still upsetting.
Yeah, well, that whole scene...
Because obviously she's not happy.
No. No.
So...
No.
But yeah, watching Dennis Hopper kind of just treat her however the fuck he wants. Yeah. Which is nice because there's a moment where Kyle, who's Jeffrey...
Yes.
Stands up for her.
Yeah. In a time where you're like, don't do that.
Well, and at the same time you're kind of like, I'm glad he did though.
Yeah. But it
was uncomfortable. Every time Dennis Hopper I can't even repeat the things that he says.
I will repeat everything that he says.
No, I mean the gross sexual
stuff. No. He gets very gross and almost borderline mommy issues with her.
There's a complex that's called that, because there's an Oedipus. Is it the Oedipus?
Oedipus? Yeah.
Yeah, he has an Oedipus complex.
Yeah.
So that's fun to hear him vocalize that, which is terrible, and it just makes me ill. But that's the point. That's the whole point. So
his character is meant to make you not feel good.
He's meant to make you uncomfortable in pretty much every sense.
Pretty much everything.
He's uncomfortable in kind of this weird comedic sense because he's so over the top, but he is also uncomfortable because he does really fucked up things.
Yes.
So
I mean, I can't tell you how much I laugh at his character.
Yeah, the stuff that he yells.
I mean, Heineken? Fuck that shit. Pabst Blue Ribbon. I mean, he's just so great in this, and yeah, I mean, he's perfect. This is one of his best roles ever, and but one thing I would like to go back to is the beginning, because it's my favorite shot of the film. So there is the whole point of this movie really is, or to me, is no matter how wonderful and perfect something looks on the outside or on top, there's something lying beneath that is not good. Me?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no, I'm lying beneath Dani. I'm the not good part of this podcast.
I'm totally kidding. It's just you describing that. I'm like,
yes.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh my god.
I love you.
I love you. But what perfectly encapsulates that, and it perfectly encapsulates the story to me, is when it's not when we find the ear, it's not when Jeffrey finds the ear,
right?
It's a little bit later, where Lynch does the long zoom into the ear, into the darkness of the ear. It's just like, this is what we're doing. We're going from this small town that is seemingly perfect, white picket fences, everything, and going into the underbelly.
You also skipped the scene that is upsetting, where I believe it's Jeffrey's father.
Yes.
That something happens.
Jeffrey's father, he seems to just have a stroke or something.
I think he hurts himself, because what seems to happen is the garden hose gets caught.
Yeah.
And as he's trying to like get it unstuck, it almost seems like he like pulls something in his back and then falls over.
And then he's just out for the rest of the movie.
It is that scene's upsetting though, because he's laying there in pain, and then we see this little baby child.
Yeah, and there's a dog like going after the water.
Yeah, while he's still holding it.
It's Lynch does this awesome little like slow down. You know, anybody knows Lynch knows Lynch. Did I say Lynch? Anybody that knows Lynch knows his slow-mo and his unnatural slow-mo. It's never meant to look nice or pretty. It's always unnatural and disturbing. And he does that with the dog like chomping at the water.
Well, he has this really interesting juxtaposition, and he does it quite often. It's something I've noticed more as we've watched stuff, and I'm sure it's in probably everything he does. He likes these moments, and it's funny, I know this connects though. There's a moment like this in Mandy, where Nicolas Cage comes in from the horribleness, and there's the commercial for Cheddar Goblin, right?
Yes.
That's very Lynchian, because he does the same thing, where he shows you this thing that's like cute or fun or supposed to be great, and then has this juxtaposition of, but here's this weird, horrible moment.
Yes.
You know,
both directors reflecting how life is.
Yes, exactly. And I like that he does that, because if you pay more attention in your life, things like that happen all the time. Like, you know, like there are times where I'm upset about something, and I'm letting a YouTube video run or whatever, and then a commercial comes on, and it's all like, and it's just, and it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like seeing that reflected even more so in his films, because he does it also in a very realistic way.
Yeah.
Where we know these moments, we've encountered them, maybe not these exact moments, but something similar to them.
Yes.
So, yes. And he's good at that, because that's, I feel, what he wants to do is capture feel.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as we talked about with Lost Highway, it's all about feel for Lynch most of the time. I mean, he is trying to tell a story. I think this is Lynch wanted to make a detective film.
Yeah.
And he wanted to have a story. I think. And also, speaking of that, I think there is a lot of DNA of Twin Peaks in Blue Velvet. I'm sure people have talked about that before. It's just very, besides the people that go on to be in Twin Peaks, just there's the detective aspect, the not necessarily a murder, but a mystery to find out. Whose ear is this? What's going on?
There is murder, though.
There is murder, but it's not the beginning. It doesn't start off.
No.
And then there is a lot of jazz in the soundtrack. In certain scenes.
Lots of croony 50s music.
Lots of they're diners. David Lynch's love of the 50s. I think Twin Peaks, you can definitely see where that came from after Blue Velvet.
You can almost see that. You can almost see this as the same universe.
Kind of.
You know what I mean?
It's similar. It is similar. Jeffrey Beaumont is going to run into Agent Cooper at one point.
No, Jeffrey Beaumont becomes Agent Cooper.
Okay. And then he moves
because he wants to be a detective.
He does.
Like, so it connects.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And maybe.
And this whole experience that he has with her gives him an even greater respect for women.
Yes.
And then that's why he doesn't do so with Audrey.
True.
Sorry, we're going way too far.
We're going super far into it. But I would like to talk to you about. So there is the scene. Jeffrey with Isabella Rossellini. She's part of the mystery. He goes to her apartment and he hides in her apartment to see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
In this time, he sees Frank rape her, and then after that, she finds out that he's in the closet, and she brings him out and makes him strip at knife point.
That's actually before he witnesses her get raped, though. Like
true, yes. Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry. So he strips at knife point once she finds him. Then Frank comes and rapes her, and then, so matter of factly, and then she wants to have sex with Jeffrey.
Mm-hmm.
But in the sex with Jeffrey, she wants him to hit her,
mm-hmm.
and at first he refuses,
mm-hmm.
and then he finally does.
Mm-hmm. He hits her like twice.
Yes, and you have a problem with that.
Yeah, because I don't understand why he does that. Like, he's very adamant on wanting to help her.
Yes.
And I know she, like, demands it, basically, that he hit her. And I
it's almost like she's, because of her abuse, this has become part of it for her.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the weird crossing in her mind of, like, this is part of sex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, she could. I mean, because I don't know how long this has been going on. We don't have any idea.
We really don't. I don't think they specify.
No. But I'd like to think that she didn't start out like that because she has a husband.
Yes, she has a husband and a child.
And those are both being held hostage, essentially.
Yes, being held hostage because Frank has some sort of
fixation
with her. Yeah.
I think, and I'm sure this is something to do with it, but I think she reminds him
of his mother.
Yes.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, that's something that's not specifically said, but yeah, definitely.
I think that's. I think it's, and it's not obvious, but
I mean, a little bit. It is the whole talk of the mom stuff, and then his fascination or his the way that the '50s music really hits him.
Yeah, like he cries when she sings Blue Velvet.
Yes, and she wears a blue velvet robe, and he has cut out a piece of it that he holds,
mm-hmm.
and it's kind of always with him most of the time.
He sticks it in other people's mouths, though,
yeah,
and I have a big problem with that.
Yeah. He also puts it in his own mouth.
Yeah.
I don't think he washes that thing, so.
But back to him inevitably giving in and hitting her,
yes.
I didn't necessarily understand because he is so much like, I want to help her, I want to help her, yes. I want to help her, and that definitely doesn't help.
No.
But I don't necessarily understand why that's done.
I'm not sure. A lot of what Jeffrey does, or at least with Isabella Rossellini, I'm not sure where he's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know he wants to help her, and then he ends up like kind of falling for her, and they have sex, even though he is kind of falling for Laura Dern's character.
And Laura Dern's character is the daughter
of the police chief.
Yeah, so
yes.
That's a whole thing.
Yeah.
And she's adorable.
She is. They're adorable together.
They are.
In their young age.
They are.
But yeah, I mean, I don't get it. I guess there's a weird thing, just like there's the crossing in her mind of the sex and the violence. There's the crossing in his mind of I want to help you and sex be with you, and in some way they're the same thing,
mm-hmm.
even though they're not. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, that part bugs me.
Yeah, I mean,
because that part seems out of character.
It does seem out of character, but I think that's the point. I think the thing about it is that
that the shows darkness affecting him.
Yes, he's getting pulled into this dark world that he's not a part of.
Okay.
I mean, he's a high school student. He's in high school. I mean, this is something, it's like he's 17, 18 maybe.
Oldest high school student you've ever seen.
Yeah. But like, seeing these things and seeing someone be raped and getting into this underground crime thing it's a lot for a teenager. So
well, it's way too much because I mean, Laura Dern's character at many points is like, okay, you need to stop.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to do this, and then he kind of pulls her in a little more.
Yeah.
There is the one scene though, after a lot of shit happens. This is after the great scene where Frank takes him on a ride,
mm-hmm.
and with their Jack Nance and Brad Dourif and a few other people in Frank's crew,
mm-hmm.
And they kind of just torture him, and then Frank ends up beating him up.
Mm-hmm.
Send you a love letter from my heart, fucker.
So
I love it.
I know you do.
But yeah, and then he goes home. They didn't kill him. I think we discussed it. I think Frank knows that he can't kill a teenager.
You can't kill a high schooler.
You can kill people in the crime world,
yeah,
and they won't really care about it. But you kill a teenager, they're gonna come after you. But he goes home and he just cries sitting on his bed. And I think that goes to show that he knows, like at this point in time, he understands I've gotten myself way too far into this. Yeah, it's too far. Yeah. So
because in those moments he does think back also to the sex and hitting Isabella and all that stuff. And I think that's maybe him realizing I've gone to a very dark place.
Yes, very dark place, and I shouldn't have gone there.
Exactly. Yeah.
You have something to say?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
Another famous scene near the end is when they get to Jeffrey's house. And Isabella Rossellini, she is naked.
She's doing her best Buffalo Bill.
Doing her best Buffalo Bill, sure.
Sorry. It's a very interesting scene because when that happens,
yes.
And here's Laura Dern has a boyfriend.
Yes, throughout this whole time, Mike.
Which she's kind of been neglecting to hang out with Jeffrey.
Yeah.
So at one point, they basically went on a date and they did kiss.
Yes.
So Mike's
pissed.
Anger is not necessarily unwarranted.
No.
So he pulls up basically at the same time as Jeffrey pulls up with Laura Dern, and gets out and is like basically gonna kick his ass and all that stuff. And then this is the thing I appreciate about Mike. And Mike isn't seen very often.
No.
But when he realizes what's going on, because he sees Isabella and she basically throws herself onto Jeffrey.
Yeah.
He immediately is apologetic.
Yeah, he's like, oh my God.
I am so sorry. I don't even know. Like, he can't even finish his sentences. At first, he doesn't know what's going on.
No. But at first, somebody does go, is that your mother?
Somebody
else,
says that. Someone else.
But as soon as he understands what's going on, he's like, okay, I'm out of here.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm so sorry. And he gets in his car and he leaves.
Yeah, they roll right out.
And
but I was bringing that up because one very interesting thing about that scene, anybody that has read David Lynch's autobiography, Room to Dream, that is something that happened in David Lynch's childhood. I believe him and his siblings were outside playing, and there was a fully naked woman just wandering the streets looking completely distressed. So it's interesting that something that happened in his childhood stuck with him, and he put it in this film.
He never talked about finding out anything about that after
I don't believe that he did. He was a kid. So if his parents came and helped the woman, I don't think they would have talked to the kids about it.
No, I'm sure he wonders about it though.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, it's such a weird thing, especially as a child.
Well, then you would wonder, is she okay? What happened to her? Where's she now? That kind of thing.
If I don't know if this is true, but I could see it if that memory and that picture in his mind just was the basis for this entire film.
Yeah, this is just a whole imagined
what happened to that woman
as to what happened to her, which would be pretty amazing.
Yeah. So. And I'm not sure. Lynch doesn't like to really tell you exactly where his films come from.
He doesn't really like to tell. He never does. He doesn't explain anything.
That's the one good thing. If you're a big Lynch fan, get his autobiography, Room to Dream. Maybe get the audiobook because he talks. There's someone that co-wrote it with him that she reads, but he also recants a lot of stuff, and it's very interesting to hear him talk about it.
That's cool.
Yeah. Highly recommend that if you are a Lynch fan.
Should we talk about the end?
Sure. Of course it's kind of a happy ending, which is nice.
Yeah, kinda.
Jeffrey and why can't we remember her character's name, damn it?
There's quite a few character names to remember in this, so.
Jeffrey and Laura Dern, whoever she plays, her character's name. She kind of is upset at him at first because she realizes that he did have sex.
Well,
with
she doesn't realize that Isabella Rossellini in certain terms.
She says that
that he put his disease inside me.
You put your disease inside of me. She says that often.
She does.
That may be something from Frank.
Mm-hmm.
I could see Frank saying some shit like that.
Definitely.
So,
but I mean, I'm pretty sure that Laura Dern, from her reaction, understands completely what she's saying.
She knows. Oh, she definitely.
Well, and also knows. Isabella's
she's like horrified. Yeah, she's like fawning over Jeffrey.
And Jeffrey is just kind of like,
yeah, he's like, oh,
he's like, can you stop? Can you like not do this? Like,
but Laura Dern quickly forgives him over the phone.
Yes.
And there's a big shootout scene at the end. And it ends with Jeffrey in Isabella Rossellini's apartment.
Yes.
Killing Frank.
Yep.
In a great gunshot scene.
It's very satisfying.
It is satisfying, and that's another thing with the whole misogynist stuff is that we do watch these scenes that are uncomfortable with Isabella Rossellini, but then we get the revenge at the end. We get that fuck him, he's dead. Yes. Mm-hmm. So in a way that makes it better. I mean,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, they get together, they're fine, and then we see
they drive away in a Cadillac and it flies away. Oh wait, it's the wrong movie. Sorry.
Blue Velvet, aka Grease.
AKA should have been the ending of The Room.
Should have been the ending of The Room with Tommy as a vampire.
Yes.
But that's something completely different. And then we see Isabella Rossellini's character in the park with her son. Because her husband is dead.
Yeah, her husband gets shot in the head, unfortunately.
But she does get her son back, and she looks happy. And that's
as happy as she possibly can look after everything. And you can only hope that she's getting therapy.
Yes. There's a little thing that we didn't talk about. There is a scene in which Laura Dern's character says something about the darkness is gone when you can see the robin.
Yes, that's right.
And at the end of the movie, there is a robin that comes and sits on the...
You're only bringing that up so that you can talk about the robin.
I'm bringing that up because it's the end of the movie, but also, the robin was a dead robin that they found. It was hit by a school bus, and it was then taken and taxidermied, and Lynch got that robin, and Lynch is the puppeteer of the robin at the end of the movie, and it's great to know that.
It doesn't look very real.
It doesn't look very. I know it looks great.
It's great.
It's great.
Apparently, Lynch was told that the robin and its movements and whatnot did not look real, and he seemed to be titillated by that.
He loved it.
He seemed to actually prefer that.
Another reason to love Lynch.
It's so funny.
All right, rating time.
Okay.
What do you say?
I would definitely give this higher than.
You gave Lost Highway 5.
Yeah, so I give this like a 6.5.
You're going a half?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right.
I didn't hate it. I mean, there were parts of this that I did enjoy, but it's not like this is a comfortable watch.
No.
You know what I mean?
It's a dark movie.
It's a dark movie. So, and I'm not giving it a lower rating because it's a dark movie. The enjoyability.
Yes.
Is I do enjoy it, but yeah.
Yeah. I give it a 9 out of 10. Yeah. I love it. It's one of my favorite Lynch films for sure. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
It's classic
Everybody
Lynch.
Go drink a Pabst Blue Ribbon to celebrate.
Or a Heineken.
No Heineken. Fuck that shit.
You're just gonna do Dennis Hopper.
I'm gonna be doing those quotes like for the next few days for sure. I really love he says fuck and fucker all the time. Fucker. Mm-hmm. I just love how he says it. I like
one of my favorite yelling scene with him is at the end where he thinks Jeffrey is in the bedroom and he's like basically berating him. He's like, you forget that I had a police radio, you fucking idiot! Like, oh my god, just yelling at him for being an idiot. I
in between his puffs of his gas.
Which I wouldn't do if I'm gonna fire a gun. You know what I mean?
He doesn't care.
Oh,
He's an insane person.
He's an insane person. That's right.
It's good. Blue Velvet, guys.
Blue Velvet.
Please go watch it. We will be back next week with our other Lynch film, and I think we can say what it is because right?
Do I know?
Yeah, Wild at Heart.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We're doing Wild at Heart next, which I think is a nice next film due to the Laura Dern connection and her being a part of the couple, and it's a nice connective tissue.
It's all the same universe.
Yeah, Lynch universe. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out. I hope you're enjoying our Lynch marathon. I know Dani is.
Oh yeah.
I most certainly am.
Yeah, you are. You're very happy.
Very, very happy. But we'll be back next week with Wild at Heart. We are also doing our live streams every Saturday that we tell you about all the time. Mm-hmm. It's just because we want you there, because it's very fun.
We like to hang out with you.
Yes. This is in the past, but it's in the future.
Yeah.
So
it's in that weird in between.
Josie and the Pussycats was really fun. Yes. We had a great time.
Yes, we did. And nothing went wrong.
Nothing went wrong at all.
Let's hope.
Nothing went wrong at all. But we hope to see you guys at a live stream. And if not, we'll see you next Monday with Wild at Heart. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.